Yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. No health, death fast approaching, an inventory full of cheese and bird nests. Well, it's quite the funny story, really.
Tormented Demons.
The newest issue of Jagex making light versions of existing content. Moons of Peril is Baby Barrows. Desert Treasure 2 is Dark Souls. And Tormented Demons are copycat demonic gorillas. Still following? Yeah, me neither. What's this video about again?
Tormented Demons.
The real reward for completing the quest While Guthix Sleeps. These baby bosses are pretty simple and straightforward. Anyone can do them as long as you believe in yourself. Let's get into it. I've said it before in other videos and I'll say it again now. Anything in Old School Runescape that Jagex took the time to add fingers to can fuck your shit up real fast. The best way to combat this is to be prepared. For equipment, you're going to want to bring 2 combat styles. Yeah, this is a switcheroo game, just like Demogogo's. In terms of which 2 combat styles to pick, the world is your oyster, but I do have some preferences. I tried multiple different gear setups for this between melee, ranged, and magic in the month or so that they've been out. As much as I hate to say it, the best of these 3 for me was, in fact, magic. I know, yikes. I mean, yum. Thanks, Jagex. Another reason to bring my fucking magic set. Specifically using Demon Bane magic. Yeah, that's a thing in this game. It's in the Arceus spellbook. I never use it either, but it packs a wallop on these demon type NPCs, let me tell you. Aside from magic, using melee with Arclight was my other preferred option. I don't want to dig too deep into this, but let me just say this. There's only a handful of encounters in OSRS where Demon Bane weapons shine. When they do, holy mother of Christ, they really bring home the bacon. And Tormented Demons are just the fat, juicy pigs fresh for the slaughter. Listen, all jokes aside, you can bring whatever style you want. I just feel like using Demon Bane magic with the Arceus spellbook along with Arclight was the most smooth and simple method. Both of these use weapons that hit harder on demons, and you can use thralls if you use the Arceus spellbook. Pretty neat. Keep in mind, this also applies to abyssal weapons as well, so if you have an abyssal bludgeon or abyssal dagger, you can bring those too. It's just as good as Demon Bane. Regardless, bring whatever 2 combat styles makes you feel cute. There is one more note to make with equipment here, which deals with the mechanic for these guys. I'll dig more into it later, but to make it simple, Tormented Demons have this this big fucking pumpkin shield thing. About 2 or 3 times when you fight them, their power of Halloween disappears and they become vulnerable for 1 hit. During this hit, they don't have that special pumpkin shield, so your attacks can actually scale up if you're using a slower ticking weapon. Like I said, I'm not going to dig too deep into it. I will later, but if you bring something like a heavy hitter, maybe like a heavy ballista or a dragon 2-hander, you really can turkey stomp the fuck out of these guys. Big numbers make us all happy, right? Here's a breakdown of this mechanic on the screen. Feel free to pause it if you want to read it fully. I personally decided to not bring a switch for this. I felt it was too chaotic. I personally cannot be trusted with that much power. Onto the inventory. All right, so inventory, as we've covered, you'll need your item switches for your other combat style. Aside from that, if you brought magic, you're going to need your runes for your spells. For my humble example here, I have Blood, Soul, Fire, and Cosmic runes for the following spells in the Arceus spellbook. Resurrect Greater Ghost for my thralls, Dark Demon Bane, which is my offensive spell, and Mark of Darkness, which is my offensive buff spell. For anyone who doesn't use it, Mark of Darkness gives you like this insane attack buff against demons. Make sure you use it if you follow this setup. Outside of that and a Sapphire Lantern to travel to the chasm, you'll need the basic stuff: food, restore potions, combat potions, and an emergency teleport. Pretty simple. I brought pineapple pizzas for this one because once you learn this fight, you can really honestly expect to take not that much damage. You can always bring anglerfish if you want, just, I mean, you know, save some pussy for the rest of us you try. Okay, so the fight itself. If you ever fought demonic gorillas, this is going to be quite the traumatic experience for you. Tormented Demons will be utilizing 1 type of overhead prayer. Obviously, you should make sure before you run in, you have a style that you can hit it with. So you know, do that. After pulling them, they're going to start attacking you with one of the 3 combat styles. You should immediately toggle your overhead prayer once you know what it is to prevent taking extra damage. You'll know what style it is based on its animation. This waving the arm across the body like it just smelled some shit. Then the green diamond thing from The Sims is ranged. When it sneezes this yellow orange stuff, it's magic. And when it tiger claws you, it is melee. Really simple. Just react to these and pray accordingly. You should never take more than 1 hit in a row unprotected. All right, so you're smashing this guy pretty hard. It basically stays this way until one of 2 mechanics happen. The first is the bind mechanic. After exactly 36 seconds, or I believe it's 90 game ticks, Raging Berserker Helm here will bind you in place and shoot out 2 sneezes around you, which can be seen with the 2 shadows on the ground. Spoiler alert, get out of the shadows. Groundbreaking, I know. After dodging this, two things are going to happen. The first is the demon will be changing attack styles. Just like when fighting demonic gorillas, you're going to need to predict this and switch your prayers accordingly. This is very easy to do if the demon was originally attacking you with ranged or magic, but not so much with melee. To correctly predict this, watch to see if it starts moving towards you. If it does, pray melee. If it doesn't, pray whatever you weren't using beforehand between magic or ranged. Here's a quick example. Originally, the demon was using magic. I dodged the Nimbus clouds, then I see it's coming toward me, so I know I need to pray melee ASAP. Simple enough, right? If Big Melinda here was praying melee, it's a little tougher though. Obviously, you just have to guess. You can watch to see if it does the arm across the body animation for ranged or the big sneeze for magic, but no matter how fast you swap, you're still going to get hit if you change after it starts the animation. Because of this, I would immediately change after dodging the bind bombs and just hope you guessed right. If you did, congrats friend, big ups homie. If not, change to the right one afterwards and hope no one was watching. Maybe next time, champ. The second part of this bind mechanic is the demon's vulnerability phase, which I mentioned earlier. After switching attack styles, the Tormented Demon will lose its pumpkin barrier and be vulnerable for one attack from you. During this attack, your damage done will be multiplied based on the attack speed of your weapon. And when I say multiplied, it is like an exponential multiplier. There's some violent math associated with understanding this attack, but to keep it simple, this is where you would switch to that heavy hitter weapon like the ballista or dragon two-hander if you brought it. As soon as you hit it, the shield's going to reappear and the normal attack method's going to resume. Okay, personally, and this is really honestly just my complete preference, I didn't bother too much with swapping for this big attack than swapping back here. It's an extra switch and the sweat heads are going to easily do this, but I prefer something simple and easy. So I just made sure that whenever I had that one special attack that I could use, I hit the demon off prayer every chance and then I just kept going.
Now, though I don't care too much about DPS and taking advantage of the big bazooka damage, I will say that I do enjoy utilizing this vulnerability phase for a different strategy. Considering TD here is taking Mongo hits with increased accuracy, this is a prime opportunity to utilize a special attack from an item that heals you, like an SGS or a blowpipe. In fact, my most comfortable and preferred setup would probably be to bring magic and melee along with an SGS switch and a blowpipe switch, just to take advantage of the opportunity to heal myself. If you were bringing a light bearer for the special attack recharge along with both, hell, even maybe just one of these items, I really believe it's not hyperbole to say you won't even need food, assuming you only get hit by the incorrect combat switch mechanic. Personally, I tried this, and after a couple shit attempts, I eventually was at a point where I could easily just heal off these special attacks and stay until I had a full inventory. I prefer this style versus just immense speed and damage personally. Knowing I can stay here indefinitely is a nice perk for these new mini bosses, so try it out if you are interested. The last mechanic for this fight is the prayer change mechanic. Every 150 health or so, the demon will swap overhead prayers to whatever it was last hit with. This is where the item switch comes into play. Just react to the swap by switching your gear. Nothing really big to note here. If you suck at switching, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. Open up paint, draw a fucking box, draw some smaller fucking boxes and just click it in order 1,000 times. Boom, now you know it.
If you brought ranged and melee, you could technically bring runes and summon thralls to exploit this, to make the demon switch to protect from magic every time. But like, I can't even say that sentence without getting bored. That's a lot of work, man. Fuck that. So yeah, that's Tormented Demons. Not too bad. Demonic Gorilla's light. The loot really sucks here unless you get the new uniques. If you successfully killed the big bad guy, congrats, friend. Thanks for hanging out with me. Drop me a like and a subby for all the hard work you did. I've earned it. All right, that's it. Love you. See you later.